Hi everyone, welcome to Grow Roots. This is Shannon and welcome to my February 2026 garden tour. Well, welcome everybody to Grow Roots. If this is your first time, welcome. And we are just getting started in spring and I am so excited what this year has in store for my front yard and my backyard, and I can't wait to show you. Spring color is here in my gardens and I'm all for it. I know so many of you are probably still covered in snow with the Northeast snowstorm that has happened and all of that, but I hope this is inspiring to you and that this will help you to look forward to what is to come very, very soon for all of you as well. But I'm starting here with this spring planter that I planted up, and it is showing off, or starting to anyway. I love it so much. This is just one of my containers with matrix pansies, and they are just I think they're just matrix pansies blue. And then underneath these, I planted some tulips, and they are from Holland Bulb Farms, and they are mixed triumph tulips, and they come in like a pack of 50 for like $15 when they're on clearance. Super cheap, but they are super high quality, and I'm finding that out now, even though I accidentally stored them in the refrigerator with some candied apples. And if you know like the rules about storing your tulips in the refrigerator, which by the way we have to do here in the South because we do not get enough cold hours for tulips to bloom reliably, so we have to put them in our refrigerators starting in September, October, and then leave them in there for 60 to 90 days sometimes before we plant them out. And then I plant them out the last week of December, first week of January. But one of the rules is that you are not supposed to be storing tulip bulbs in your refrigerator with apples of any kind. Apples release, I forget what the compound is, but it actually, that compound breaks down the tulip bulbs, and it makes for either them not to bloom, or really short flowers, or like flowers that just are kind of like wonky. But I wasn't sure how these were going to turn out. That's why these are in my backyard instead of my front yard. I have more of these in my front yard with different bulbs, but they are beautiful, and I have so many more blooms to come, and I am so excited. Can't wait to show you the other container in my backyard with these as well, because those blooms were a little more pinkish. But these are mixed triumph bulbs from Holland Bulb Farms. Well worth the money. I highly recommend them, and they are not sponsoring me. I'm not, sponsored by them in any way, shape, or form. But let me show you my backyard garden first. I'm super excited about how things are shaping up. First, I have a double play Big Bang Spirea is right here, and then I have a double play Candy Corn Spirea right here. The Candy Corn Spirea has been here a couple years longer. This double play Big Bang has only been in the ground for not even a year yet. These are usually one of the first things to show some spring color, and the Candy Corn Spirea is starting. So when the leaf buds come out, they are this beautiful red color, and you can see another one coming out there. This one has been coming out the longest, and I'm so glad I have this example, because after the red color initially appears, the subsequent leaves are yellows and oranges, and then after this set of leaves, it will be lime greens. And at some point very soon, probably in next month's garden tour, you're going to see a like candy corn-ish looking shrub. It is spectacular. It's so beautiful. Multicolor, rainbow almost. And so it's just beginning to leaf out. And then there's Chloe. She is our lovely backyard garden kitty. She was a stray, and we take care of her, give her food. She cannot come inside because I'm highly allergic to her, but she is just so sweet and joins me on all of my backyard garden tours. Hi, Chloe. Underneath Chloe, I have a border of dwarf Mexican petunia. It too is starting to come up. It's looking really nice. It's a beautiful border perennial. And then this double play Big Bang is just beginning its very first, nope, don't rub yourself on that branch, Miss Chloe. She likes to rub herself on these branches and break them, so I have to try and keep her from doing that. But here's a couple of these leaves that are starting to come up there. I have some yarrow. This is Summer Pastels yarrow that I grew from seed winter sowing last year, and it's doing fabulous. I have not seen it bloom yet. It didn't bloom for me last year, so but it's getting it's spreading new babies. So I can now tell you that yarrow, when it's established in your garden, will spread new babies throughout your landscape. So it's a really super tough, lovely, lovely plant. It stayed green for me even through the ice storm, which is spectacular. And I love the soft, frilly foliage. It's so beautiful. I have daffodils coming up, and they are starting to bloom as well. They are so, so sweet. And sorry about my shadow, y'all. But look, oh, I love spring. I just love how God can take, you know, anything, and through the trials, through the storms, through the winter, things aren't looking so great. And then just around the corner, joy comes in the morning with these lovely, lovely spring colors. It's a beautiful picture of God's promises to us, to me. But anyway, daffodils are looking absolutely lovely. I have some larkspur babies that are popping up all throughout my backyard garden. I grew larkspur as well from winter sowing it last year, and it was so beautiful last year. So I'm so pleased. I did not plant these seeds. They are from the larkspur that was here last year, and I have several of these popping up as well. There's one there too. And this is a white swan echinacea. I have echinacea also dotted all throughout this backyard garden here. Right here is a mandarin orange echinacea. I know you can't see it, but it's there. And then over there is an echinacea purpurea, which is big and beautiful. And then an echinacea powwow is right there, and I have another echinacea powwow here and another echinacea purpurea over there. So you can tell I absolutely love echinacea, and it looks really beautiful all around in this garden. This pot right here is potted up with a limelight hydrangea that I am forming into a tree form, or a standard. And so this is, let's see, this is going to be its third year. So last year I only allowed 4 branches to come out, and this will be forming the base of the tree. And then this year I will allow probably 2 to 4 branches to come out of each of these 4 stems. And again, those will produce the bases of this tree as well. And this main branch here is getting nice and thick every year. It will get thicker until it matures completely. But I do have it staked up right here to a tomato cage to make sure that that stays nice and straight, which it is, which I am so thrilled about. And I'm excited to see, I don't really know what I'm going to plant underneath it. I usually do an underplanting, but we do have some seedlings coming up, I think from last year. So last year I grew scaviola, a purple scaviola, dichondra, and a vinca. And that's definitely not, that's not a vinca. So I think that's scaevola, because it's not dichondra either. But those seedlings are popping up everywhere, so I think I might let them go and see what those do. Another thing that's popping up is I do have a ground cover all throughout this bed as well, and it's Plumbago serratustigma. And here is some of the first, actually that might be echinacea. That might be that echinacea plant. But this, there we go, that's what I was looking for. This is the Plumbago serratustigma that is starting to come up everywhere as well. So signs of spring, signs of life are popping up everywhere. Again, I just love this time of year where I'm noticing all of the things kind of popping up. Oh, I forgot to mention I have hollyhock here. This is summer carnival hollyhock, and again, this did not flower last year, but I grew it from winter sowing, and it should be flowering this year. It is a biennial plant, so I cannot wait to see the blooms on that as well. This dead looking thing is Confederate Star Jasmine. And this is one of the vines that died completely back during our ice storm in January. So yeah, these leaves are done. The vine is likely done, but you just never know with Star Jasmine. So you kind of just let it go, and then it definitely is not dead at the roots. So the vine will grow from the roots at the very least. But some of these, like this branch, is nice and pliable. It's not dry and brittle. So this branch might just pop new leaves out. As a matter of fact, I do believe that it is. So we'll just wait and see what that Confederate Star Jasmine does. I have a container right here that has an old dianthus left in it from the plantings last year. And then I kind of just a week or two ago popped in some daffodils that I had forgotten about that had been given to me. And so there's some daffodils popping up here as well. So maybe I'll have 2 rounds of daffodils, who knows. But I thought, you know what, this container isn't being used right now. I'm not going to use it quite yet. So let's see what those daffodils do. And it wasn't too late. Like they're popping up and they're looking good. So that's exciting. So coming in to this part of the garden, let's see. Still more Plumbago Steratostigma. I have a dianthus here that is flowering. The dianthus, this one did kind of die back a little bit, but it's starting to flush out again and rebloom for me, which is exciting. And this is a Sweet William plant. Sweet William is biennial, which means that the first year it's growing these lovely green leaves, and they are evergreen for me here in North Texas. And then the second year it will bloom, and it will bloom the most magnificent blooms you've ever seen in your life. I'll pop a picture on the screen. This variety of Sweet William is just spectacular. It's double mixed Sweet William by botanical interest, and I grow it from seed every year to add to my garden, because after the second year, they are known to just be short-lived and die off. This one is my oldest Sweet William, though. This is its 4th or 5th year. I keep waiting for it to die, and see, parts of it are. Here we go. This part is completely died off. I can clip that off. There we go. But the rest of it is still intact, and it looks like it's getting ready to shoot up some shoots for blooming. So that's super, super exciting. I can see more Plumbago Steratostigma popping up here. It will be all over this garden bed. Oh, and there's another one right there. That's so fun. Let's see. There is a peony here. Here it is, the remnants of the peony from last year. The peony has not popped up quite yet. Let's see if we can find any eyes that are above the surface yet. Nope. My peony, it's just beneath the surface. So I have had some of you say, you know, because this has not bloomed for me, and it's gonna go on its 4th year, and it's in the sun. Like, I don't know what else to give it. But I checked it in the fall. It is really literally right underneath the surface, less than an inch beneath the surface. And I'm just not sure why, but hopefully this is the year. Hopefully this will be the year that this peony will bloom for me. We'll have to see. Coming over here, I have more Confederate Star Jasmine, and you can see there are some parts of the vine that did not die off, but most of it has died off, and that's okay. Right here, all of these things are my winter sowing jugs. I counted 71 of them before I started potting up some of them, because some of them are already ready. But man, I'm winter sowing a lot this year, and so that's all of these jugs that you are going to see. I'm going to come back to that later. That's my other tulip container, but lots of things. I've even started winter sowing some warm season annuals, which I love to do this. I believe that we are past our last freeze. Our average last freeze is mid-March. However, there's just nothing even close to a freeze in our forecast. Who knows what the end of March will hold potentially, but I did go ahead and take a little bit of a risk, just a teeny risk, and planted up my warm season annuals to get those started. So those are over there. These are the first ones that I started with. These are all perennials that required cold stratification. So I have foxglove, rudbeckia, bluebonnet, blanket flower, hollyhock, milkweed, echinacea, columbine, verbena bonariensis, all kinds of things over here. And then over here was my second round of perennials. I have veronica, yarrow, dianthus. I have some herbs, thyme, parsley, sage, oregano, mammoth dill, forget-me-nots, catmint, ajuga, which has not really sprouted yet, one or two. I have cleome, broalia, like all kinds of really, really fun things that I'm excited to grow. And then these guys are my guys that are all ready to be potted up. So I have Sweet William, I have yarrow red, and poppies. If you're curious on how to do that, how to set these up and be successful like this, oh my goodness, look at these plants. They are beautiful and gorgeous and tough. Let me tell you, this is the toughest seedlings that you are going to create in any other seed starting method with winter sowing. If you're curious how to do that, I have a whole winter sowing playlist. I'll pop the link on the right hand corner of your screen and you can go ahead and click that and watch that. And I highly encourage it because I love, love, love winter sowing. But let's come back to the garden. I have a container here that last year it had verbena bonariensis, which has survived. I am in zone 8A, North Texas, and verbena bonariensis, actually, I forget which zone it goes down to, but it's definitely hiding in our zone, and it definitely survived beautifully and is coming back beautifully. I haven't decided what I'm going to plant up with that, but last year I had gomphrena and zinnias, and it was beautiful. Over here, I have clematis, and it is coming back, and it is doing great. Look at that. That is blue indigo clematis, I believe. Hold on. Yep, sapphire indigo clematis, and so that's what you see right over there. Can't get to focus on that, but it is doing pretty well. It is super fragile, that vine, but I also have Jackmani clematis that is down there as well. So those are all coming back pretty well. Over here, I had rosemary planted down there, and it actually did not like the ice storm, let me tell you. It is, you know, a little bit brown right now, but I do see new growth on that. So that's very exciting. It's just going to flush right back out. I did prune it back quite a bit, and so it's going to flush out and be just fine. I have some strawberries here. And then here is my Texas sage that is right now completely defoliated. Yeah, but it is coming back. There we go. You can see some new growth there. I pruned it, not super heavily, but by about 1/4. And hoped that it would come back, and it is, but we'll see. It was definitely on the struggle bus last fall and completely defoliated, so let's see what this season has for it. I'm not completely certain. And here we go. Look at this. This planter looks a little bit different because I feel like the tulips are more pink in this one, and they come off more red on camera, but I promise you they're more of a pink color. At least these are. They're so pretty, and I love the look, the contrast of the blue pansies with the tulips. It's just remarkable. Now this one is red with yellow, and look at that. Oh, it's so gorgeous. I'm so happy that the candied apples that were in the refrigerator with these tulips just didn't seem to have any effect on them whatsoever. Maybe they're shorter, maybe, but this is a pretty good size one. I mean, that's a good 20 inches, which they're supposed to be 20 inches tall. Now, these are a little bit on the shorter side, but I actually kind of prefer that because they're with the matrix pansies, you know? So anyway, lovely container. I'm so glad I did that one. And then here I have a sunshine ligustrum. This is a tree-formed sunshine ligustrum. If you're interested in how I did that, I do have a video about that, and you can check that out. I don't know if I would recommend tree forming a sunshine ligustrum, at least this one. So sunshine ligustrum is an amazing shrub here in North Texas. They look like this all through the winter, and they're just super, super heat tolerant, drought tolerant, all of the things. Like, they're fantastic. This one, they're only supposed to get 3 to 5 feet tall. This one is over 8 feet tall, and that's after pruning it multiple times a year and trying to keep this guy at bay. This guy is just super happy where he is and very vigorous. And so tree forming it has been a challenge for me because look at all this growth that keeps wanting to come on those branches. I have to stay on top of that, and it's kind of a job. And you see, that one doesn't, and I don't know why this branch is like, I am insisting on branching out. I don't know. There's quite a few of them that are insisting on branching out, but it's kind of a job to keep this guy at bay and pruned. And I do that so that I have room to grow other things down here, which right now doesn't look like a whole lot, but I do, I'm fighting with my shadows. I do have a limelight hydrangea that I have recently pruned down there. I have 2 Echinacea purpurea over there. I have a Texas sage, which is desperate over there for some kind of sunlight. See it over there. And then I have a Confederate star jasmine over there, and another Confederate star jasmine over here, and a coral honeysuckle over there. So, the coral honeysuckle and the jasmine are kind of all just mixing in together, honestly. And that will be lovely. I did have some of this Confederate star jasmine make it through the ice storm. So you can see all of that. So I should be getting some lovely white jasmine blooms on the Confederate star jasmine, mixing in with some lovely coral honeysuckle blooms. And that's the coral honeysuckle. So, and the coral honeysuckle, it defoliated a little bit in the wintertime, but it is flushing back out very, very quickly. So that's super, super exciting. And then coming over here, I have my favorite perennial vine ever. It is the Tangerine Beauty Cross Vine. And this is a spectacular vine. This is the way that it looked all winter long. And it is, you know, it takes on a little bit of a darkish green color, but it is quickly lightening up. Let me see if I can show you some of the new light growth right there. And then what else it is putting on are its buds already. So let me show you this branch right here. Those little ball-shaped things right here by my thumb are the buds that are beginning already. So this nodule alone has 4 buds. There's thousands of leaf nodules on this crossvine, and so I will have thousands of flowers. Maybe by next month's garden tour. I'm not exactly sure. It does take them a little while, so it might be March. It might be early April, but they are coming, and they are the most beautiful things you will ever see. It's just the most remarkable vine, and it's native to Texas. Do not confuse it with a trumpet vine. Trumpet vines are invasive. I have many people say it's an invasive vine. Don't do it, don't do it. This is not an invasive vine. There are no vine shoots popping up anywhere in my garden. No baby vines popping up anywhere in my garden. As a matter of fact, I can't even get the seeds that I've collected to germinate on this guy. But anyway, it is not invasive in any way. It is a very vigorous grower. As you can see, there are 4 vines that are planted way down here at the base of my patio. And so each trellis has 1 cross vine that started as a little teeny baby 4 years ago. And here they are. This is the most amazing plant in the world. I just love this plant so much. And it loves the spot here, but it's going to be covered. And I mean covered in blooms very soon, so it's exciting. And over here, I also call this my limelight hydrangea alley. Somehow the sun conditions, the lighting conditions here are just fantastic for limelight hydrangeas. I have them in other areas, but this is where they thrive. And so I have rootings that I have cutted from previous years that are here. This one was just rooted last year. So these were cuttings from the hardwood pruning that I did in late winter last year. I stick them in the ground. Well, I stick them in a container with potting soil and leave them all growing season, and then in fall I transplanted this into a container, and this will be a limelight hydrangea plant. And then same thing with this guy. This one is the same. I just had two that rooted really, really well last year, and that's okay. And then I also have creeping Jenny in this one as well. And then this one is on its second year. So this one was propagated 2 years ago, and super strong, super healthy. And you can see, I actually can see green on this guy. I don't know if you can see it, but the leaf nodes are really swelling. And then this one right here is green. So that's going to become a leaf very, very, very soon. So this guy's getting ready to leaf out. The others are close behind as well. And then here is the propagation station. That's what I call it. And this year, it's not just Limelight Propagation Station. It is Spirea Propagation Station. My Spirea, I just love them so, so much. And so I decided, well, a limelight is a flowering shrub and has to be pruned almost in the same way that, that the limelight does. They're both kind of the same. And so I figured if I was easily able to propagate the hardwood cuttings from the limelight hydrangea, which that's what these are, I should be able to easily propagate the Spirea cuttings as well. And so 2.5 weeks ago is when I pruned my limelight hydrangea and my Spireas, and then I leave them here, and I still have some cuttings left, saving them for a friend. And I leave them right here for 2 to 3 weeks. And then at the end of 2 to 3 weeks, I just stick them down into the soil. I get as many leaf nodes down into the soil as I can, kind of pack them in there. And then I will keep this soil moist, not too wet, not dry. I will keep the soil just ready and nice all season long. And then honestly, I can tell I need to put more soil in here after I watered it down. So I probably will do that today, but gotta leave them alone. Don't touch them for an entire growing season. In the fall, I will check these guys out and see which one of these cuttings, or see how many of these cuttings have rooted. And typically with the limelights anyway, I have anywhere from 2 to 5 plants out of 20 that have rooted. So I mean, it's not 100% propagation, but I'm getting 2 to 3 baby hydrangeas every single year from doing this, which is absolutely 100% worth it. I just love doing it. Okay, so I'm getting a little too far away. Let me go back over here on the other side of my patio, and I will show you my brand new garden bed right here, and also my shade garden right here. So let me start with my shade garden. I'm starting on this side. This is my autumn fern, and this guy is 2 years old and fully mature and absolutely beautiful, and it looks like this in the winter time for me. Yes, it was covered in ice pellets, looking green like this, you guys. And then when the ice pellets were uncovered, this was what was covered up with ice pellets, and it's still green. Like, this is the most remarkable plant in the entire world. And so, because I love that so much and it's doing so well in this area, I have purchased 2 more autumn ferns right here and put them in these beautiful wire hanging baskets. And because I just transplanted these, I don't want to hang these up quite yet because I don't have irrigation to go to them yet, but they will be hanging up right here. And then I actually have a different plant that will be hanging there, and I have another autumn fern. It's in this basket right there, and that will be hanging up right there. And then in the middle, I have a Fairy Trail Fresco hydrangea. This was purchased, I think, midsummer last year from Proven Winners Direct, and it's starting to come back, and I cannot wait to see this plant when it hopefully leaves out and blooms. I'm super excited about it, but it's actually going to be in a hanging basket. I'm going to try it right there. So anyway, going back to the shade garden, There's that autumn fern. I have 4 containers, and they each have a different type of very large hosta. This one is Proven Winners Shadowland Diamond Lake. And I mean, the eyes are starting to show a little tiny bit of green. I've got another eye there that I can see. This one is Proven Winners Shadowland Woolala. And again, ooh, that one's got some green coming up. So they are definitely coming out of dormancy now. This one is not Proven Winners. It is Blue Label, and it is Elabroic Hosta. And this one has purple eyes, although the foliage on this plant is not purple in any way. But it's just not green. It's still kind of purple. And then this one is an Elegans Blue Hosta by Blue Label. And definitely still alive. It's just I don't see any new growth at this point. Maybe right there. But anyway, those are going to be beautiful hostas. And then I have a hydrangea macrophylla right here. This was a propagation. And I have variegated liriope dotted throughout. This one is another autumn fern, a baby that was just barely planted midsummer last year. So the foliage on this one is a little bit rougher than the foliage on the bigger one that's more established, but still such a tough plant through the ice storm. And then over here is giant leopard plant, and I can't believe I have like full-on growth on this plant already. It's incredible. It actually stayed green all winter long until we had the ice storm. So that is just so awesome. Plus, I was able to collect some seeds from the flowers, and I am winter sowing some of the seeds, and I noticed just today that one of those seeds sprouted. I'm super happy about that because I did a lot of research and I found out that these are kind of hard to germinate, these seeds, but apparently winter sowing them helps them to germinate, because I've got at least one seed that germinated, so that's exciting. And then over here, this is a really tough spot because my puppy likes to dig this plant up. I don't know why, but I have a Sea of Hearts Brunnera, and it's beautiful. It's so tough, and it's coming back. So I'm so happy about that. I really hope she does not dig that one up again, because it's been dug up more times than I can count. All right, so coming over here, this is almost a brand new garden bed. We used to have a trampoline here until when did we dig this up? Last spring? Yeah, last spring-ish. We did a lot of work, and I think most of these things were planted by early summer. And so, anyway, all of these things are almost brand new, but it starts off with a border of lemon coral sedum, and I had to buy a new lemon coral sedum. I bought 2 of them because the lemon coral sedum that was planted here has now died, but you can see those have overwintered just fine. I love that as a border. It's just this bright pop of yellowish green, and there's, again, like, it's just dying off right here on these corners, probably because of my dogs, and it goes back that way. And then right behind that, I have Stella d'Oro daylilies. So these will be yellow daylilies, super tough. One of the toughest daylily varieties for the South that you can get. But they are starting to come up pretty well. But I've got those dotted all in the back here. And then in between the Stella d'Oros, I planted some naturalizing like daffodils that naturalize in the South, and they are supposed to be mixed with some blue muscari. The blue muscari has been coming up for a long time, but it has not bloomed. Some of them I purchased from Holland Bulb Farms, and some of them I purchased from Lowe's. And again, it doesn't matter which one, none of them are blooming. Not even the daffodils, which is really strange. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I've got them going on here, and I've got them going on over here as well. And I have gotten some of these to bloom, which these are, I think, paper whites. And I don't know why these were in the mixed naturalizing daffodil blend. But anyway, they're beautiful, but these are the only, I've gotten 2 blooms from these and nothing from anything else yet. So hopefully we will see some. Coming back over here, I have a Sweet William plant right there that struggled a bit, admittedly. My dogs were going back behind here, and that's why you see I finally put a stop to that. I put some trellises there that blocks my dogs from running back and forth over here with the dogs next door. So, and yeah, anyway. So the Sweet William kind of struggled a little bit from being trampled on, and so did this. This is an oak leaf hydrangea. And I put this cage around it to just, I mean, they have broken so many branches off of this, and it was small to begin with. And I do think it's still alive. It's just not coming up quite yet, which is a little bit concerning to me. It's a baby plant, and so maybe it's just had too much stress, because I don't see anything coming up here either. I mean, I see that growth, but it's not changing at all. So I'm a little concerned. You know, there's some nodes there that are growing something. So maybe it's still okay. Who knows? But this is a Gatsby pink oak leaf hydrangea. And so this guy is supposed to be 8 feet tall by 8 feet wide. That is why I have a whole area dedicated to it right there. And then right here is blanket flower, one of the longest blooming perennials. I just started growing it last year. One of the longest blooming perennials I've ever had, and maybe, I don't know, but it's already, I can see it's starting to put on a bloom. It's starting to bud up. Are you kidding me? This part of the plant was evergreen in the winter, and there's all kinds of growth on it already. Like, it's such a rock star. It's gonna be amazing. It likes that spot for sure, which is part satin, by the way. And then I have Russian sage, little spire Russian sage here that is coming back already as well. And planted here, I wish I could have shown you. I will pop a picture on the screen, but this is an Alexandrina magnolia. I got it for free last year from Encore for Arbor Day. They were giving away some free trees. And it's leafing out, but we missed, it had 2 blooms for me. It's just a little baby, so it's not gonna have a ton of blooms, but I did get 2 and they are done. But they were beautiful, and now it's starting to leaf out, and that's gorgeous. Here's some petals. Some of those petals that are left over. It did not last very long, which was a bummer. Let's see, over here I have Texas rock rose. And that part of the plant was evergreen this winter, which is insane. We did get down to 10 degrees. And I thought rock rose would completely defoliate, but it didn't. And then here are some Shasta daisies. These are spreading. Like, this part was not over there. This was just one little Shasta daisy plant, and now it's spreading out. It's doing what it's supposed to do. I love it. And then this is Sweet William. These are getting ready to put on their shoots and blooms as well. On this side is another Shasta daisy, right there, doing lovely. And then another Sweet William. Same thing, just getting ready to bud up, send those shoots out, all those flowers. I cannot wait, you guys. I just can't wait. And then I have a yarrow here and another yarrow there. It's so interesting how these were grown at the same time, yet they're so different in size. Just that one has just done so much better. And I do have variegated vinca growing out of that as well. It was in a container, and so I had variegated vinca in the container, and they started to grow together, and I was just like, oh, it's fine. Variegated vinca, there you go. Let's see. Ooh, this is exciting. Okay, so I have 3 Cheyenne Spirit Echinacea planted like right here. And so one of them I just noticed is growing. Ah, get away. Here's that Cheyenne Spirit Echinacea. Woohoo, that's exciting. I love it so much. There's another one here somewhere. And then there's another one there. And I can see the growth, the new growth on this one today too. Yay, so excited. Another thing that I have right here is a Firelight I'm sorry, not a firelight tidbit. Yes, firelight tidbit. This is a panicle hydrangea, and yeah, it's struggled. But I do see swollen leaf nodes, and so I am confident that Chloe, stop. I'm confident that this is still alive and that this will hopefully do okay this year. And then way over here, again, super excited because I thought this plant was dead. This is an Invincible Mini Mauvette by Proven Winners. I totally thought this plant was dead, left it in the ground just in case, and I'm so glad I did because I see a new growth right there. I hope you guys can see it. And yeah, covering that back up with mulch because it just seems so fragile. But it is alive. And then this guy is on the struggle bus a little bit too. This is Proven Winners Perfectamundo Fuchsia Carpet Azalea. But I see new growth right there. Hopefully it's focusing. It's again a little bit. Oh, I see a bud, you guys. That's so exciting. Oh my goodness, I thought it was really struggling, but it is starting to bud up. So that's very promising. Let's scoop back here so I can show you. This is an Orangiola Japanese maple. So excited. This is really, I bought this in the fall. This was a birthday present for myself. But I've always wanted a Japanese magnolia, and the variety that I wanted was Orangiola, or one of the varieties on my list for sure was Orangiola, and I happened to find it at a beautiful price. Lovely. So excited about it, and it is showing signs of life everywhere. So I really am so excited to see this leaf out for its first spring here. And let's see, I do have other things over here. Let's see what I've got. Oh yes, this is another Hydrangea macrophylla, looking dead, but it is not. It is coming to life. And then that is a shrub that was, again, on the struggle bus. All of these new shrubs that I purchased from Proven Winners Direct, they were in quart sizes. And I would just not suggest doing that. If I had it to do all over again, I would have splurged and bought the gallon sizes. They would have been much what's the word I'm looking for? Much better to take the transplant than the quart sizes. So lesson learned, don't buy shrubs in quart sizes. If you guys are planning on buying some shrubs this year, buy them in at least 1 to 2 gallons. But anyway, this is Paisley Pup Dog Hobble. Beautiful, beautiful colors on this shrub. But again, it's kind of just struggling along right now. I do have new growth. Where did I see all that new growth? Oh my goodness. I just saw it. But anyway, I do have new growth. It is still alive. It's just, I have to be careful. It's limping along for sure. If I can just keep it alive. The rule of thumb with shrubs, if you guys haven't heard this before, shrubs, perennials, vines, the first year, keep them alive, okay? It's going to be okay if they don't look magnificent. Keep them alive. The first year they sleep, the second year they creep, the third year they leap. So first year rule is just keep them alive. Just take care of them. And don't worry about what they look like. And then second year they will creep, and then third year they will leap. So there you go. All right, here we are in my front yard, and I just am so happy. In late February, you guys, we are here in late February, and it looks like I'm entering May and June, I feel like, in my front garden. So the front border that you see is, these are clear matrix pansies. So these like specifically don't have the black centers, and this was like a whole mix. But this mix also had like a raspberry color in it, and I really had this vision of doing blues, oranges, and yellows together, and I'm so glad. Like, I took all the raspberry ones out and bought just the blues, the oranges, and the yellows, and it's just spectacular. I absolutely love the way that those came out. And then I also have this planter here that has new plantings some new spring color that I picked up at Green Acres Nursery in Irving. And Green Acres absolutely has their Proven Winners annuals out already, and so that's what these are. But they have all kinds of beautiful, beautiful things there. I put a video out if you're interested in that. I can pop the link to that and you can see what Green Acres has. But I picked up all of these things from Green Acres. This is going to be my container right here that I'm dedicating to, I think, Proven Winners annuals. I have a lot of other flowers that I'm growing from winter sowing, but I'm going to allow at least this one container to just all throughout the season to be planted up with Proven Winners annuals. So I'm starting off the season with Supertunia Bermuda Beach right there. I've wanted to grow this. I love this color, and they had it there at Green Acres, so I was super excited. And then this was such an eye-catching flower. This is Sensatia Blood Orange Nemesia hybrid. And it is more of a cool season flower. We will see how it does. If it doesn't do well, I'm just going to pop something else in its place. But it is just absolutely striking. And then I have their lobelia. Why do I always blank on the name of the Proven Winners lobelia? Hold on. Where did it go? I kept it all in here. Here it is. Laguna Sky Blue lobelia. I love the look of that blue with that orange, that blue with that pink. It's really, really pretty. And then this guy, I cannot wait to see what this does. This is Waikiki Sunset Lizomachia congestiflora. So I ended up looking up Lizomachia because I was like, that name is super familiar. Lizomachia is the same family as Creeping Jenny. Ooh, there's a bumblebee, y'all. Look at the bumblebee on that. Hi, bud. Sorry, it's super distracted already in February. The Lizomachia is a type of Creeping Jenny. I guess they're in the same family. But look at those beautiful yellow blooms that this Lizomachia congestiflora puts out. It is a different type. This is not necessarily Creeping Jenny, but it's in the same family. It is a perennial in zone 7 through 11, I guess. And I'm not super sure it's going to like being here in the full sun. So I may end up moving it to a part sun location, especially recognizing this could be a perennial for me. So I want to take really good care of it. But it's doing well so far, but it's not hot yet, you know. And then I also have, let's see, Supertunia Honey right there. So there's Supertunia Honey. I hope you're getting a good picture of that one. So there's that yellow Supertunia in the back. I love all of those colors together, and I actually love these together. I think they go together really, really well. So very, very happy. Down here I have some May Night Salvia, and it's coming back. This is kind of some of the spent winter foliage, but I see lots of new growth, and those put on beautiful purple blooms, mostly throughout the season, but the biggest flush in the spring. Here I have some snapdragons, a whole row of snapdragons down here. Now, the snapdragons were kind of all, they took a setback during our ice storm, for sure. But now they are all starting to bud out. I really, really wish these were flowering for my February tour, but I am sure they will be flowering for my March tour. So stay tuned for those. They were beautiful until the ice storm. So there you go. This guy's a little bit wonky, but it is a hyacinth. It came up in a different area of my garden from last year, and I transplanted it here. So that's why it's kind of like, not loving life right now. Same thing with these pansies. I transplanted them from a different area, and so they're just kind of like, blah, right now, but that's okay. I have Creeping Jenny that came from this container last year and rooted itself, and now it's in this flower bed, which I am not upset about at all, and it came back. So that's cool. Let me show you my porch containers, and then I'm going to go back into the front garden to show you everything else. But this container is slightly sad looking. I totally get it. But I'm waiting it out because this is ice plant and dew plant, and they have all kinds of new growth. They survived the winter for me, and I want that to fill out. They do really, really good in the heat, and so I think, you know, before long these will be full and it will be looking just fine. But right now, I understand, it's a little questionable. This is more snapdragons. Again, we've got buds, but not flowers quite yet. Creeping Jenny in here, and mums are in here as well. Now this, I totally had every intention of replanting this planter. In the fall, I had planted Celosia Dracula Red. Let me see if I can pop a picture of it on the screen if I have one. I'm not sure, but anyway, it was striking, absolutely striking. It was a beautiful celosia, but it was beautiful. And lo and behold, it's got seedlings everywhere. So I have all kinds of seedlings coming up of the Celosia Dracula Red. So I decided, nope, I am not going to pop this guy. I'm not going to put anything different in this container. I'm going to wait. I'll probably have to wait patiently, but that's okay. There's lots of these Celosia growing, and that will be perfect in that container. Coming over here, I had a Gerbera daisy here, and I split it and transplanted 2 of the cuttings, or 2 of the splits, into other areas of my garden. And I didn't think that this one survived the ice storm. It actually took a pretty big hit. But just yesterday, I noticed this growth right here, and it's got a new growth in there too. So it is alive. But I had purchased these at Green Acres to take its spot, and now I'll just find a different spot for this lovely yellow Gerbera daisy. This one's gonna be, it's a Sweet Sparkle Garden Gerbera. That's what this is, but it's a real hot pink color, and it's really lovely. It will take up this whole container in no time. So I don't think I'm gonna plant those things in it. I'll find other locations where I can plant these really pretty things. Here I have an Encore azalea. I believe it's the Autumn Sunset, and it took a little bit of a setback with the ice storm as well, but I did see a couple. Here's some blooms, my first blooms on that. So they are starting. It's getting new growth and all of the things. It's planted up with variegated Vinca major as well. And here, this is a little wonky here, keeps falling over, but this is a topiary with variegated English ivy. Back here are my hydrangeas, my porch hydrangeas. This one is my oldest hydrangea that I have. I call it Big Daddy. I've had it since 2011, so this year will be 15 years. I got it for Mother's Day, and this is kind of what sparked gardening for me, honestly. Like, I love this plant so much, but it's got all kinds of new growth happening, and I was afraid it had some growth before the ice storm that was zapped. I was afraid that I was going to lose some blooms, and I definitely lost this. It had a bloom starting before the ice storm, so that's gone for sure. But all kinds of new growth happening, which is, these ones that are on the old wood will become blooms. So not all of it was zapped, and that's coming really, really nicely. This got replanted this past fall. It had never been repotted. The potting soil was still the original potting soil. I always give it added compost and mulch every year, and added fertilizer every spring, soil acidifier sometimes 2 to 3 times a year. So I take care of it, but it had never been repotted. The potting soil had never been replaced, and I did do that this past fall. So I think it's going to be very, very happy this year. And then this guy is a variegated lace cap hydrangea. So these leaves are just, look at this one, you guys. It's bright white. Look at that. Look at that growth. I just love this plant for the foliage alone. I would grow this plant even if it didn't bloom for me. And it almost didn't bloom for me. This is its 6th year. Last year was its 5th year, and it was the first time it bloomed last year. So it's doing really, really great. And I hope to have lots and lots of blooms on this guy this year as well. I do have a planter as well. This is Dragon Wing Begonia. I brought it in for the ice storm only. It has survived multiple freezes. But the really cold temperatures it was indoors with, and it's doing really, really well. And then I've got a kalanchoe, a leatherleaf fern, foxtail fern. Again, I brought these guys in only for the ice storm. This is an Evercolor Everello Carex. This is a heuchera and a juga. This is variegated liriope with the prettiest little hosta in there you'll ever see, and then another foxtail fern. So that's my 3-tier planter right by my door. And then I have this planter as well, which is a 2-tier planter with variegated English ivy on the bottom, and right now a very sad looking Zabrina tradescantia at the top. Like, it pretty much all died back. Coming over here to my front steps, I have this 3-ball topiary, which has been repotted. And it is a Carolina Sapphire Cypress, and this is its 2nd year only, and it's like tripled in size. I cannot believe how much it has grown. It survived being repotted beautifully, and I just can't keep it, like, it's growing this way because of the wind, and I can't keep it straight. Like, it was straight when we repotted it, and now it's back to leaning because yesterday was very, very windy. I don't even know, but anyway, it's gorgeous. I absolutely 100% love it. And then I have variegated liriope all around it. There was a Confederate Star Jasmine, as well as an annual vine that was Black-Eyed Susan vine. And so there's that. And then I have baby gem boxwoods all along here that do really, really well in that location. So let's go back into the garden. Okay. This year is going to be spectacular for this garden. I have Maynite salvia kind of all around this pot, so they will come back and be beautiful. I had a rudbeckia here, which does not look like it's coming back yet, but we will have to see. I have a dianthus there. I have a peach colored daylily. It's a gorgeous color that is right there. I have Sweet William. That is, you see this? This is the start of what's going to be a bloom. So that's really exciting. And then these are daffodils that haven't bloomed or put on any type of spike yet. Again, I've got snapdragons all back there. And then I have 2 echinacea back there. I have mandarin echinacea. So there's one right there, and there's one on the other side back there, and then snapdragons all around. And then much the same. Oh, did you see that lizard just leap? You see him? Hi. Hello, Mr. Anole. You are so cute. Hi. I saw you leap. Goodness. Anyway, I have more Sweet William here, which is starting to put up its blooms. It's so exciting. And then I have some dianthus here. I have more dianthus there. I had a rudbeckia right there. Again, I don't know if that is going to come back for me. And then I didn't talk about this, but I have sunshine ligustrum as a hedge back there. It always takes a little bit of a beating during the winter time, but it comes back really, really quickly. So no worries there. And then on this side of the garden, I have a vitex tree up here, which has not leafed out yet. It's not supposed to leaf out quite yet, but it creates the shady environment over here. In the winter, this is still full sun, but in the summer, this is absolutely shade. And so I just love this. It's now, do as I say, not as I do, maybe, but this is variegated Vinca major, and it is blooming like crazy, you guys. Now, variegated Vinca major, this ground cover, is considered invasive in our area. I'll be honest. Yes, I am growing an invasive plant. Has it been super invasive for me? Not really. I keep tabs on it. So for instance, it spreads by burying itself all where it wants to spread. And I stop it from doing that. I want it to stay in this area, this shady area, and it's trying to get itself into my garden this way. You can see it has creeped over here, which I'm okay with. I don't want it to go any farther that way, so I will pull them all out when I see them rooting. And it is going underneath my sunshine ligustrum and spreading back there, which I'm actually totally fine with. If I don't take care of it, it will try and root itself into my grass. I don't allow it to do that. I stay on top of it. If you are not ready to stay on top of this ground cover, do not plant this ground cover, because it has been considered invasive and it will take over native species and all of the things. But I fully intend to keep it here in this garden. I fully intend to stay on top of it, and I 100% love it. I love these blooms. I love just how it spreads and how easy it is to take care of, and I don't have to worry about it or do anything with it at all. It just does this. There you go. I do have some burgundy glow ajuga down here. And coming over here, I have another endless summer hydrangea. This one is planted in the ground, and this one is proof that you can have a thriving hydrangea macrophylla in the ground in Texas, and it will thrive. I'll pop a picture on the screen of what it looked like last season with 60 plus blooms in it. It's just all about location, and it's all about giving this plant what it needs. And if you're curious on how to take care of an endless summer hydrangea in a hot climate, I have a video that gives you every tip and trick you can imagine and how to do that, how I have successfully grown this guy to be so beautiful and such a thriving plant. So I highly encourage you to watch that video. I will pop that link in the upper right hand corner so you can check that out, so you can have a thriving hydrangea as well. This guy is coming out in full force. He is almost every leaf node has new growth, and it's going to be absolutely beautiful, and super excited about that. Our grass is coming in. It is Pacific Palisades. My husband does all of the grass maintenance, and he does a fabulous job. And the last thing that I have to show you are these planters. These are my curbside containers. They are full of the matrix pansies, the same ones that I showed you in the backyard. And they have tulips planted underneath them as well. But you can see they are not nearly as big as the tulips in the backyard. These tulips are the clearance tulips from Lowe's. When I realized that my Holland Bulb Farms tulips had been in the fridge with apples, I thought I had ruined them. And so I picked up a bunch of Lowe's clearance tulips. And I decided to plant the Lowe's ones here because I totally thought that these would be more successful than the Holland Bulbs Farms. And I at least wanted people to be able to enjoy this. But they have been slower. They have been slower to come up. Not as many of them have come up. And also, yeah, I don't know. Not many of them have actual buds, I don't think. I don't know. No, I guess they do. We're just going to have to wait a little while to really see how the Lowe's clearance tulips will hold up to the Holland Bulb Farms. But so far, Holland Bulb Farms is way better than the Lowe's. The variety that these tulips are Garden Parfait. Very similar in color to the Holland Bulb Farms that I picked up. So you can see that one has a bud. This one has a bud. These are just way further behind, and there's just not as many of them coming up. Anyway, beautiful container regardless of how those tulips turn out. And I love this picture right here. Already in late February, it is beginning to look like spring, and I am so very excited about what this season will hold for my garden. So I highly encourage you guys, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. So many fun things are coming this year, and I hope that you'll join me for that. I thank each and every one of you for watching today. I can't even tell you what that means to me, and I hope that you are inspired to get out and take care of your gardens and get new pretty things and all of the things. I hope this inspires you guys. And thank you so much for watching. I hope all of you have a beautiful day. Bye-bye, everybody.